Before sunrise, the manager arrives at the training ground and reviews the previous match alone. He studies defensive mistakes, attacking patterns, and missed chances, marking every issue that needs attention. His assistant arrives with coffee, and they compare notes before the morning staff meeting. The coaching team gathers as the manager sets the priorities for today's training session. He separates urgent problems from details that can wait until later in the week. The medical team delivers an injury update, forcing him to reconsider workloads and possible replacements. He checks the weather and pitch because both can change the morning's training plan. Before training, he privately supports a player whose confidence has fallen after a poor performance. The squad gathers as he reviews the last match without making the criticism personal. He explains today's objectives and how every drill connects to the upcoming match. On the pitch, he watches the warm-up for fatigue, discomfort, and poor concentration. The first drill focuses on pressing, with play repeatedly stopped to correct timing and distances. He moves between groups, praising good decisions, while demanding greater speed and intensity. During possession work, he studies who remains composed when space and time disappear. He changes the teams halfway through to test new partnerships and tactical combinations. A senior player questions an instruction, so the manager calmly explains the reasoning behind it. Training shifts to attacking patterns, with runs, passes, and movements rehearsed at match speed. He asks the analyst to record one sequence for closer review after the session. Set-piece practice follows, targeting a weakness identified in the next opponent's defending. He ends training with a competitive small-sided game that sharpens decisions under pressure. Afterwards, he gathers the squad briefly and reinforces the standards expected from everyone. Back inside, he reviews GPS data to identify fatigue, effort, and recovery needs. The fitness coach recommends protecting one player, despite the player wanting to train fully. He meets the doctor to discuss whether an injured starter can return this weekend. At lunch, he sits with staff and hears concerns that rarely reach formal meetings. An academy coach recommends a young player performing consistently for the under-21s. The manager watches the youngster's footage and considers inviting him into first-team training. Scouts then present several potential signings who could strengthen weak areas of the squad. He challenges each recommendation on tactics, budget, personality, and long-term suitability. A call with the sporting director covers transfers, contracts, and difficult decisions about departures. Later, a frustrated substitute asks for more minutes and clear answers about his role. The manager listens, then explains exactly what must improve to earn a starting place. The afternoon is spent studying the next opponent's build-up, pressing and attacking routes. He works with analysts to identify where the opposition becomes vulnerable after losing possession. A main tactical plan emerges, but alternative formations remain ready for changing circumstances. He records a media interview without revealing team news or tactical intentions. Afterwards, the communications team warns him about an online story creating another distraction. He returns outside for individual work with two players learning unfamiliar positions. Using cones and mannequins, he demonstrates movements before watching the players repeat them. As evening approaches, he reviews the likely team and debates several close selection decisions. He calls his assistant to weigh form, experience, and tactical suitability for the final place. Before leaving, he writes tomorrow's schedule and lists every conversation still required. At home, he replays training moments while trying to remain present with his family. A late injury message forces him to reopen the tactical plan for the weekend. The working day ends only on paper because another decision is already waiting.